Akofala, are you there?
Yes, please.
You girls are tired. Maybe you are tired. Okay, let me draw the curtains on this. Oh, you want?
Oh,
Hey, but you are not a. You are tired.
I have a question.
Akofala, you would have to prompt me to record. I've wasted all the energy without recording. Okay, ask your question.
Okay, Mr. So you were saying that the other two angles will approximately give you 180 degrees. So it
Exactly.
means the
If
the theta. So it means the theta will not be considered. Like you won't add it to the whole thing.
you see, I'm not saying you are though, but approximately it looks, because this is very, very small. It's as if when you sum up this and this, it is close to 180 because this is very, very small. That's what I'm saying.
So like even though it will be part of the addition,
Yes.
like the other two angles are most likely to
Sum up to 180. That's what I'm saying. Because this is very, very small. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. So it means that the angle between V2 and the change in velocity is perpendicular. And this is also somewhere like perpendicular. Not exactly, but almost. Please, this is the context of what we are doing. Almost. Because this is very, very small. Akofala, Nanajua, Ajua, Amponsan, and the rest of you. Are you following?
Yes, please.
So it's not a perfect, but almost. What it therefore means is that the change in velocity delta V, which is equal to V2 minus V1, is perpendicular to either V1 or V2. If it's perpendicular, then the change in velocity can be brought along the radius, isn't it? Because look at it. I can bring the change in velocity delta V along the radius, because when it is here already, V1 is perpendicular to the radius, and we have just realized that V1 is also perpendicular to delta V. So equal vectors, we can bring this vector delta V along the radius, and it will satisfy the condition we have created for V1 and this, and V2 and that. Are we okay?
Yes.
Good. So from this, we are, by bringing it along the radius, it means V1 is perpendicular to delta V, and V2 is also perpendicular to delta V because the radius is also perpendicular to each one of them. So we can bring this vector, change in velocity, along the radius, and will serve the same purpose. Now, in vectors, whenever there is a change in velocity, what happens? Yes, we've done vectors. So whenever there is a change in velocity, there is acceleration. Acceleration will be 0 when there is no change in velocity. Whenever there is a change in velocity, there will be acceleration. Okay, so because by the changing direction of the body here and then here, we are getting a change in velocity, then there will be acceleration of the body. Okay, and this acceleration is always directed to the net or the change. Acceleration of a body, the direction of the acceleration of a body is always to the direction of the what? The net force or the change. Okay, the net force, which is the change. Okay, so here it means that by the changing direction of the body, there is an acceleration, and this acceleration is directed to the what? Towards the what? this acceleration produced by the change in direction is directed towards the you see what causes, let me help you get this clear. What causes the acceleration of the body?
Change in velocity.
The change in velocity. The change in velocity brings about the acceleration of the body. What is the direction of the change in velocity?
I don't really understand that. I don't understand the question.
I understand what you don't understand. What?
Like how you're trying to like the direction of the velocity. I don't really get it.
Look at, we saw that if the velocity is here, it's perpendicular to V1, perpendicular to V2, and because the radius is already perpendicular to V1 and V2, we brought the change in direction here, and it serves the same purpose as we saw over here. Are you okay? Are you okay? Because vectors are
Yes,
equal when they have the same magnitude and direction. So instead of having it here, we brought it along the radius. Okay. So because this is the direction of the change in velocity, we maintain the direction, equal vectors. And then the magnitude as it is here is the same as this. Now, what causes the acceleration of the body? You said is the change in velocity. And this change in velocity is brought up due to what? What causes the change in velocity? What causes the change in velocity?
I think change in direction.
The change in direction causes the change in velocity. And the change in velocity brings about acceleration because there's a net, which is V2 minus V1. Now, what is the direction of the change in velocity? Think through. What is the direction of the change in velocity? Look at the arrow. Look at the arrow of delta V. Which direction is it? Now, Mami Adwa and Adwa Abonsa Akofa, what's the direction of the change in velocity? It is clear. I won't tell you until you think. Edubia and Co, think and answer. What's the direction?
Oh, Mr. Yeah, the thing, we know like the direction. I know it, but then how to say it? No, that's the issue. I don't.
Adwa delta theta, delta V. Delta V is the change in velocity. What is its direction? What's the direction of the change in velocity on the board? Akofala has frozen. Edubia has frozen. Nanadwa has frozen. Eliana has, it looks as if she's not around. What's the direction of the change? You see, look at the arrow. This arrow points to the center of the circle, isn't it?
Yes, please.
The arrow of the change in velocity points to the center. It means that the change in velocity, which causes the acceleration of the body, is directed to the center. And the acceleration is caused by the change in velocity. And so the acceleration of the body is towards the center. And so we call this acceleration of the body in circular motion centripetal acceleration. We call this acceleration, which is caused by delta V, as centripetal acceleration. The word centripetal simply means that center seeking. So centripetal acceleration is caused by, is also known as center-seeking acceleration. Please, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yes, please.
It's as if Gloria is the only one around. Though. What about Dromo and the rest? Are you resting? Are the rest of you resting?
Mr. Ija, we are here.
Hey, you don't respond to my probing. So the centripetal acceleration is caused by the change in velocity. And because the change in velocity is directed towards the center, this acceleration caused by this is known as centripetal acceleration. Okay. Now, whenever a body accelerates, every acceleration is caused by a net force. So the net force, which causes this centripetal force, centripetal acceleration, is what we also call as the centripetal force. The net force, which causes the acceleration, always takes the direction of the acceleration. And so centripetal force, meaning center-seeking force. Okay, so if the centripetal acceleration is here, then the centripetal force would also be along the same, will be towards the center. Hence the name centripetal acceleration, centripetal force, which is center-seeking force. Eliana.
Yeah, please, what happens to centrifugal force?
Wait, let's finish with centripetal. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's draw the curtains. Okay, on today's meeting. Once we've started, what I'm suggesting that please, when you come to school, we'll continue so that we can do more, right? We'll continue from where we ended during our online lessons, then so we can cover more. That's the plan. So this is where I draw the curtains on today's meeting. We are coming to school on the 14th, right?
Yes,
I can't
please.
wait to see all of
Please.
you. Yes. So until 14th of August, where we are going to have another wonderful time in school. Bye-bye to all of you. If you don't have any question.
Bye.
If you have a question, quickly ask. If you don't have it, let's go. All right. So I'll see you on the 14th.
Bye.